Would you mind being my model real quick? Yeah, that's why I wanted to sort of see where we're at. Okay, so
I can adjust it when
okay, cool.
it's higher.
I know it's stressful for some folks, and so the motor skills tend to. All right, to my friends in the press, I'm going to turn the microphone on because that'll help. We're going to start the program here in just a second with speakers. We will be happy to help Thomas from our team. We can help with spellings, anything that you guys need, as well as arranging one-on-ones. Thank you, Thomas. There was a word. I just do communications for a living. One-on-ones afterwards. And then please, we hope that all of you in the press corps can stick around for the 11 a.m. Event that immediately follows this with our brothers, sisters, and siblings in labor. With that, I think we're ready to get started.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for coming. My name is Chandra Matafari, and I'm a teacher from Oakland County and the president and CEO of the Michigan Education Association. We are here today as educators because we believe that Michigan students, parents, and families deserve an education budget that can make our state a national leader in education, a national leader in talent development, a national leader in job preparedness and training, a national leader in opportunity. We know that we can make this a reality. For the sake of our kids and the sake of our future of our state, we must make it a reality. However, despite some progress over the last few years, Michigan still ranks at the bottom half of our nation in per pupil total student funding. This is frankly unacceptable to us as educators. It's unacceptable to us as parents, and it should be unacceptable to our state elected leaders. Michigan must close the talent gap with our other states and other countries. It is up to us, state leaders, to provide our hometown schools, including community colleges and universities, with the resources they need to help our students succeed. That is why it is critical that state lawmakers work together to pass a budget that invests every dollar possible toward ensuring every student can fulfill their full potential. Every single student, from rural areas to the suburbs to the cities and everywhere in between. Whether that child is in general education or receives special education services. Whether that child is in preschool, 12th grade, higher ed, no matter that child's family income, every student deserves the chance to succeed. To do that, state leaders must preserve critical funding for schools that help level the playing field for our kids. Programs like universal free school meals, student mental health support, and access to higher education and job training. These programs create opportunities for every student. They must be protected and strengthened. We urge all state leaders to engage in thoughtful negotiations to get a quality budget passed right away for the sake of our students and the educators who serve them. After all, Michigan should be leading the nation when it comes to investing in our kids, investing in our schools, and investing in our future. I'd now like to take a minute to invite up a good friend and colleague, Terrence Martin, the president of the American Federation of Teachers of Michigan. Thank you.
Good morning. We're here today to urge lawmakers to pass a budget that will ensure that Michigan students have a future. As a former Detroit public school teacher, I can tell you firsthand what it looks like to look out in front of my classroom of 35 students and to know that they don't have the resources that they need to be successful. This cannot continue. While we have enjoyed increases over the past few years in our budgets, we're urging legislators to do more. Our students, our families deserve more. We are asking that negotiations continue to happen in a way that secures the future for our schools. Michigan ranks at the bottom, close to the bottom, across this country. And we know we can do more. We should be leading the effort in education across this state. We know that the cuts being proposed in some of these budgets will cripple districts that are underserved already. The loss of mental health services, SNAP funds. These are critical programs that our students and families need. So we are urging lawmakers to do all you can. What you will hear today and what lawmakers will hear today are stories from members, folks who work on the front lines of education throughout the state. And we'll talk to you about what it's like to be underfunded, what it's like to be under-resourced, and the negative impact it has for Michigan students. This moment is critical. We are a week away from ensuring our students' future. We cannot allow for legislators to drop the ball in this moment. It is critical. It is crucial. I will now pass it on to the next speaker. Thank you all for your time.
Good morning. My name is Allison McCann, and I am in my...
Don't listen to the. How's that?
Can you hear me now?
Speak loud. There you go. Project.
Hello, my name is Allison McCann, and I'm in my 13th year as a special education paraeducator in Grand Ledge Public Schools. As a paraeducator, it is my job to support student learning by helping to ensure every student, including those with diverse needs and mental health challenges, has their individual needs met. Paraeducators help our most vulnerable students, including those with disabilities like autism, ADHD, and learning disabilities, as well as emotional and mental health challenges. As you can imagine, my job can be extremely rewarding. I've been able to attend the graduations of every special needs student I have ever worked with since 2020, and you better believe that I scream my heart out at every single one of them crossing that stage. It can also be emotionally and mentally exhausting because many Michigan school districts lack adequate funding to help the students who need it most. Paraeducators are burnt out, just like teachers. There's a need for more paras to improve the ratio of students to paras so that students have the support that they deserve. Many paras want respect. This is my second career. As an education support professional, we deserve a thriving wage so that we don't have to work 2, 3, and 4 jobs just to live paycheck to paycheck. Every student, regardless of their background or challenges, deserves the opportunity to succeed. That's why it's so important that lawmakers protect programs that help our most at-risk and vulnerable students. Universal school meals, for example, have made a huge difference in Grand Ledge. This state program has helped ensure that every student has food in their belly so they can focus on learning in class instead of being distracted by a growling stomach or becoming hangry. The Universal School Meals program has helped improve student achievement and lower cost to families. We can't afford to lose this now. We also need our lawmakers to protect funding for mental health services in our local schools. School behavior and violence, impacts of social media, chronic absenteeism. These are all just some of the challenges Michigan educators are trying to overcome every day. Cutting resources for student mental health in the budget makes addressing these issues even harder, and it's our students who suffer the most. Finally, special education services must be fully funded. This is especially important given the deep federal cuts to special education. State lawmakers must provide our schools with enough funding to help students with visible and invisible disabilities get all the services and support that they need to unlock their full potential. Our most vulnerable students are often unable to advocate for themselves, and that's why it's crucial for us as educators and as parents to stand up and make our voices heard. With one voice, we are asking state lawmakers to provide our schools with all the funding we need so that no student in need is left to fend for themselves. Thank you. And next, Eric Reader.
Good morning. My name is Eric Rader. I'm president of the Henry Ford Community College Federation of Teachers in Dearborn, and also vice president, AFT Michigan vice president, focusing on higher ed. And I'm here to speak about the proposed cuts, massive cuts to higher ed, which we just cannot afford. We're in a state where we need to increase the number of our students with post-secondary credentials, and college already, over the last number of decades, the state of Michigan has significantly cut investment in higher ed. And in the last couple of years, we've gotten some minor increases, which certainly are better than decreases, but now we cannot afford to go back to where we've been over the last number of decades. We need to fund not just our big institutions, but we have regional institutions. I'm a graduate of Eastern Michigan, one of the regionals. Those institutions need investment just as much as all the other schools, and we cannot be forced to compete with the K-12 sector in the school aid fund. That's not fair to K-12. It's certainly not fair to higher ed, and we should not be competing with each other in that fund. We need to make college affordable in this state. We already are seeing potential massive cuts in federal aid at the federal level, and the state of Michigan needs to invest in our higher ed. We owe it to our citizens. We have great institutions. We have great four-year schools, great regionals, great community colleges. And we need to be investing in those schools. I see that with my students every day. A lot of first-generation college students, a lot of our institutions are serving them. I'm a first-generation college student. The investments that our state has made that will make it much more affordable for our students. We need to make it affordable. We need to be a state that invests in all levels of education, and that includes our higher ed. Please don't make them compete with the K-12 sector. That's not fair to either. So we really do need to have this investment in higher ed, and I implore, we will be out here today meeting with legislators to talk about those investments and how they help. We have, in all the districts across Michigan, we have students either in community colleges and four-year regionals and in the research institutions. We need to invest in all of them. We can't be picking and choosing among those schools. And we need to reverse the historic disinvestment in higher ed that we've seen over decades in this state. So that's what we want to focus on today in the higher ed side. I'm going to turn it over to Stathis Pauls for the next.
Good morning, everybody. You can hear me okay? Great. Better? Awesome. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Stathis Pauls. I'm here representing Michigan State University Extension's SNAP education program. I'm here as a member of the newly formed Extension United, Local 1855, a member of UNTF. I'm very proud to be here with some of my colleagues. For those of you that are unaware of what SNAP education is, it is an educational program spearheaded by Extension for the last 30 plus years, employing over 100 program instructors across the state of Michigan. How does this support our communities? It helps low-income families manage food budgets and make healthy choices along with increasing their activities. It directly provides education, marketing, and face-to-face efforts to support healthier lifestyle for all ages across our 83 counties. Historically, this has been funded by the USDA, and again, uninterrupted for 30 years, uninterrupted. Now the funding is gone, and at the end of this month, MSU is losing nearly 100 employees, some of whom have been with the organization for over 30 years. In 2024 alone, SNAP education workers reached over 115,000 individuals, producing impressive results. 40% of adults became more active and consumed 40% more fruits and vegetables. 32% of children reported consuming 29% more fruits and veggies and reported lower screen times. And although this program seems to operate in the background, countless communities benefit, again, throughout all 83 counties in our state from SNAP education. Our program instructors are reaching our communities in classrooms, churches, community centers, early childhood education centers, and senior centers. So as you can see, SNAP Ed, through its various partnerships, has an outsized impact for its $10 million cost. So please, along with all the other very important and crucial efforts today, help us make sure that we can fund SNAP education, keep the 100 employees that I work with side by side every day, and continue funding this vital program in our Michigan communities. Thank you. I'd like to invite up Jennifer Hollander.
I get to be the one to lower the mic. Always. Good morning. My name is Jennifer Hollander, and I am an educator in Huron Valley Schools in Western Oakland County. I'm here today on behalf of my fellow teachers in Huron Valley and throughout all of Michigan to urge our state lawmakers to pass an equitable education budget that fully funds our local public schools. Our students, educators, families, and communities deserve a strong budget that provides our schools with all of the resources they need to provide opportunities for each and every one of our students. This is a critical time, and lawmakers have a critical decision to make. Invest in our future or fall behind other states and countries. Throughout my 35 years as an educator, I've seen firsthand how adequate school funding can benefit our students. Also, throughout these years, I've seen how devastating education cuts can be, especially for our students who are most at risk. First, let's talk about what they can achieve when we have the proper funding. Currently, Huron Valley in my district has invested in literacy coaches and math coaches in our elementary schools. With the help of these literacy coaches and math coaches, both students and our teachers can benefit from these vital curricular areas and have an increase in success that is evident. On the other hand, when our neighborhood schools don't have that adequate resources, it is our children who are most harmed. I have spent most of my 35 years as a school social worker in a base foundation district. Years ago, when we didn't have adequate resources for mental health professionals, our social workers and myself, we were stretched across many buildings in our district, and our students did not receive the mental health support that they desperately needed. Learning was especially challenging for many of these students because they did not have the social workers available to teach them the skills that they needed to regulate their bodies and regulate their emotions so they were ready to learn. So for the sake of our children's future, lawmakers must pass a strong education budget as soon as possible. A budget that provides every public school with the level of funding necessary to ensure that every student can succeed. A key part of maintaining the funding that was added both to the classrooms and to the educators' paychecks last year as a result of the deal to end the 3% retirement tax on educators. Schools across the state are struggling to attract and retain quality educators. I see this firsthand in Huron Valley. The last thing we should do now is to reinstate an unfair retirement tax on teachers and other school employees. Every student, regardless of zip code, family income, or disability, deserves the opportunity to succeed. They deserve the best and the brightest educators who can deliver the best education possible. They deserve a chance at a good, stable life after graduation with career opportunities in our home communities. They deserve the same or better opportunities that my generation had. We can do better by them. We must do better for them. Again, as you've heard so many times this morning, we are asking our state lawmakers to invest in our children's future by passing an education budget that provides adequate and equitable funding for all our neighborhood schools. Let's come together as one, regardless of politics, to create a brighter future for our kids, our communities, and our state. Thank you very much for all coming this morning.
That concludes the speakers for this 10:30 press conference. Again, our siblings in labor have another conference starting at 11, so we're hoping reporters can stick around. In the meantime, we're happy to do one-on-ones. You can see myself, Thomas, Janelle,